Greetings, good people, God's works of art. Today, Friday, March 26, 2021. So, what is Jesus' prime directive for us? Well, we hear Jesus tell us directly to love the Lord our God with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength. To love our neighbor as ourselves. And then this week, we will be reminded again on Maundy, Thursday, the mandate that Jesus gives, the new commandment, to love one another as Jesus has loved us. This is our prime directive. This is always our prime directive. This continues to be our prime directive, and it will always be our prime directive. We have passed the 1-year mark of being confronted and dealing with all the consequences of the coronavirus pandemic that we face. And we began as a congregation at Prince of Peace, followers of Jesus, with this prime directive, and we continue to make all of our actions based on this prime directive, to continue to see that people are loved and embraced. Yet, we are at the 1-year mark, and we are seeing some real possibilities of new things. With in our county alone, almost 30% of the people being vaccinated, at least with the first shot. And yet, the virus still infects thousands of people every day, and over 1,000 people die every day nationwide in our country alone to the coronavirus. We are seeing a possibility of this winding down. Yet it will not happen if we don't remain vigilant, right? We must remain vigilant to continue to practice the practices that we have been doing for ourselves and for everyone. I know we're tired of not being able to gather in groups, and we're tired of doing some of the precautions. But the virus doesn't care. The virus just wants a warm host. It cares only about its own existence. And so it will continue to take every opportunity to grow and to mutate if need be, so that its existence can be sustained. That's all it cares about. And so we cannot allow it to have the opportunity to mutate beyond our present vaccination protocol, or all that we've been doing will be in vain. Friends, it's really important that, as tired as we might be, but that we would continue to be people of love. And we've been adapting, right? And we have been doing the process of adapting to deal with that. And I know we yearn for some of the old ways and old things, and yet we must continue to adapt. Some of the old ways will never come back, and some will, and many will be different. And so it requires us to change and to experiment. And all this is new. And as you know, throughout this past year, we've been trying different things, and not everyone likes it, right? Believe me, I don't like a lot of the things, but we're trying to figure it out, how we can fulfill the prime directive of loving and caring for everybody. It's really important. When things are new, they feel uncomfortable. Absolutely. And they're always going to feel that way. But you know what? No one ever died from being uncomfortable. In fact, it's absolutely necessary to learn to be uncomfortable from time to time. And as Jesus' disciples, we're called, being challenged to do whatever it takes to help see that one another has life. And so that we would embrace some of these uncomfortabilities with love and compassion. Say, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do this for love of my neighbor. I will do this new thing as an act of love for my neighbor and myself. God, help me step into it with gratitude and joy. So therefore, at Prince of Peace, we gather in ways that, one, that in the most safe way for the most people, especially the most vulnerable among us. Jesus makes that exponentially clear. So that is why we have a series of metrics that the safety team and the council has approved by which we gather. And the metrics are this, and you can actually watch them on COVID Act Now. If you type that into Google, it'll pop right up and you put in the county or the state or whatever, and it'll give you these numbers. For us to gather outside for the most people and safely, the rate of positive tests, meaning the percentage of tests that come back positive, must be 10% or lower, and the rate of transmission, which has a kind of a complicated formula that it uses, must be below 1.15. That's for us to gather as a community outdoors for over a 2-week period. And so we are meeting that in Burlington County and in the state of New Jersey. Ocean County, it has popped up out of that metric, and we would still be completely online. For us to meet indoors, the metric is this. The positivity rate must be 5% or less, and the RT rate of transmission, must be 0.85 or less for a period of 2 weeks or more, right? That's why we're not inside, people. I know some of our other congregations are inside. Very few Lutheran ones are, by the way. But some of our Roman Catholic ones, I know you point that, but they have these gigantic buildings, right? And they have some other options there. And so we are choosing so that when we gather, it's the safest for the most people and the most vulnerable. It's all out of love, friends. And so thankfully, because we meet the outdoor metric, and we have actually for several weeks now, but it's been a bit cold, but we've decided now for the beginning of Holy Week that we will meet outdoors. We'll begin doing that again outside, under the tents, out back. And so dress appropriately. Now we have made an adaptation this weekend. We were going to celebrate Palm Sunday outdoors, but we're going to do it on Saturday because there's a horrible storm coming Sunday morning with torrential rain and high winds and gusts up to 30 miles an hour. So we're going to meet when it's going to be absolutely beautiful, so the forecasters tell us, Saturday night at 5:30 for Palm Sunday. And so we'll have our in-person liturgy with communion and the reception of palms in a special way this Saturday, tomorrow at 5:30. And then Sunday, we'll have the online Zoom worship where I will preach live. There's no pre-recorded preached sermon this week. And then next week for Holy Week, you can see the announcements for the schedule, but we will also meet in person outdoors. And there'll be midday, so the services hopefully will be a little, the sun will be out a little bit warmer. But on Maundy Thursday, we will meet at 1 in the afternoon, and then another service in the evening at 6:30 p.m. Then on Great Friday at 1 in the afternoon, and at 3 in the afternoon for children and families, special event for them. And then we'll have an online meditation walked through the cross at 7 p.m. in the evening. So that'll be via Zoom on Great and Holy Friday. Easter Saturday, we're going to hold the Mary Magdalene Easter egg hunt. You sign up for that in the link. And then on Easter Sunday, we will have 2 services in the morning, 8:30 and 11, outdoors at Prince of Peace. Dress appropriately. So I want to remind us all of the protocols that we face and that we will practice, and that everyone who comes is covenanted and agrees to practice as well. That we will wear, whether we're vaccinated or not, We will do follow all these protocols so that we're in solidarity with those who are yet to be vaccinated and that we are keeping one another safe. We will wear our mask over our nose and mouth for the entire time while on the grounds at Prince of Peace. We will remain physically distanced from those who are not members of our household, 6 feet. We will greet one another with joy and hospitality, but without touching each other. We will bring our own lawn chairs for our outdoor worship. We will receive communion by receiving the bread. We will record everyone's contact information who is present at the worship service. And finally, it has been determined that in that we are outdoors and will be masked, that we will sing a couple hymns. In the fall, we sang with our body and mind and spirit, and now we can do that as well as singing with our voice. So this is the little update I wanted us to do, that we continue to remember that we are all about the prime directive that Jesus has given us, and we continue to live that way. And I pray that you would ask God to help you in every way possible to live that and to stay vigilant for the care of our neighbor, because we are coming up to really dealing with this, but we cannot let our guard down. And we will continue to gather as God's people in as many ways and continue to serve in the way of love as safely as we can, in as many ways as we can, for all people. Thanks be to God. I look forward to seeing all of you very soon.